Alright guys, what is up? Today I'm gonna give y'all some pro tips to refine your defense and to better help you understand just how crazy of a defensive fighting game Sparking Zero really is. This game is all about defense. If you can't defend yourself, you're gonna end up looking up a video on IGN on how to beat certain characters in story mode. And you don't want that because you're better than that. Alright, so the first tip I want to give you guys is, if you haven't already, go to the training mode with Piccolo and learn every aspect of the game, from basic movements to advanced defensive techniques. Once you do that, you're going to want to play against a CPU and keep refining your defensive timing skills, because even though there are plenty of ways to defend yourself in this game, if you can't time it perfectly, you're setting yourself up for failure. Okay, so the best defensive technique in this game includes your super counters, super perception, and sonic sway. All three of these abilities will give you a get out of jail free card, but the catch is that you have to time these inputs perfectly in order to get the upper hand. So I wanted to talk about deflecting your opponent's Ki Blast Super for a moment, because a lot of people don't know how to do this trick, and people also don't know that by doing this technique, it will give you a ki charge buff so you can charge up your ki much faster. All you want to do is hold down the perception block button. It doesn't have to be perfectly timed, but make sure that you have at least 2 blue charges ready to go in order to perform this move. Next up is honestly my favorite defensive ability, and that is Sonic Sway. Sonic Sway lets you dodge the enemy attacks, and ending this cool animation off with a knockback, which lets you perform a super afterwards. In order to do this, you have to perform a super perception right when the enemy lands their rush attack on you. You can also perform a perception block even when blocking normally. This super cool technique also lets you reduce the enemy ki as you dodge their attacks. The next ability is super counters. Now this is probably the most important technique to master, because it lets you counteract against being hit from behind. In order to do this, you have to press up and block at the same time. However, it's not that easy because you have to time it perfectly. In order to pull this off, also you only have a small time frame in which you can do this, which is the first few hits from the enemy. If you miss the opportunity, you'll end up getting comboed to death. And finally, the last defensive technique in the game, Perfect Vanish. Yeah, no, not that Perfect Vanish, but this Perfect Vanish. This is the most commonly way to get away from your opponent's attacks, including chain knockback attacks and Ki Blast Supers. This is really easy to do, and all you have to do is perfectly time the block button right before you get hit. This move is the easiest to remember, and the easiest to do, but one of the hardest to master because you're going to end up relying on it the most. So yeah guys, those were my pro tips for you guys. If there's one thing to take away from this video, is that you should very much try to fight against the CPU and practice your timing, and keep getting better at predicting your enemy's attacks, because if you don't, you'll end up going insane like Video Game Donkey. But yeah guys, that's about it for this video. I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.